guys, welcome back to the Charming Analysis Podcast.
Do you like how my phone looks when it's recording?
Yes.
Oh.
They changed like the black to the white, so I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back, guys, to the Charming Analysis Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about this is going to be our first actual movie review for season 2, because we're trying to focus more on TV shows for this season, but we are going to do some movies here and there.
Yes.
Because we like to do all kinds of shit here, so we like to add variety.
We want to be better at this thing that we are doing, even though this is just technically a hobby.
We would like to get better at it.
We would like to get better at our little criticisms, and I think this is an interesting movie to talk about in the year 2021.
Yeah.
So, no spoilers ahead of it. Like in terms of there's gonna be spoilers, but in terms of like our opinions, like no spoilers for right now. But I think this is the first movie first movie that we actually are gonna talk about that we both have differing opinions on.
Yeah,
because one likes it way more than the other. Yeah.
Yeah. But what movie are you guys wondering about that we're going to talk about? Well,
it's in the title.
We're going to talk about Soul. So, why don't you explain what Soul is, honey?
All right.
For those who don't know.
So, Soul is basically a story about Joe Gardner, who's a wannabe. Well, I don't want to say wannabe, but he is very passionate about jazz and really wants to play jazz for a living as a big time showrunner. And he gets a gig with a very famous jazz musician who he knows is gonna take him places, is gonna get recognized as a great big jazz musician, specifically piano. And before he can accomplish that dream, he falls down a sewer hole and dies.
Basically dies.
And he dies. And it's basically him trying to get back in his body with a companion called 22, who is a soul who does not want to go to Earth to experience life because, in their opinion, it's boring as tar. So that's pretty much the basic gist of the plot.
Yeah.
But I want to I saw this movie a month ago. And
so what do you think about it compared to a month ago? Do you think it's good still, or do you think it's like...
There's some things that have gotten better. There's some things that have gotten worse. I think it just falls in the middle. So, okay. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What was the biggest thing that because I know you have a lot of things that you really like. So what are the things that you like?
All right. So what I like about Soul, I like how passionate they make Joe. One of the things that drives me to a character is how passionate they are about something they would like to do. Because everyone has a passion that they want to strive for in life. Some people want to be artists. Some people want to be writers. Some people want to be musicians. They want to, leave their mark on life. Mm-hmm. They want to, prove to people that they're good at what they do. And they want to, be the best that they can be. And I feel like that's everybody in society. Everyone wants to find their purpose and what makes them, unique. Because everyone is different. Everyone's unique in their own way. And that's something I really like about this movie, is that you get to explore the uniqueness of each individual person, but mainly focusing on Joe.
Yeah.
You get to mainly focus on him and 22 as they discover this. And I will put this up there as probably one of my favorite Pixar movies besides Inside Out. I actually like this movie and Inside Out pretty well.
So you would put this
next to Inside Out.
I'm not just talking about Inside Out. I'm talking about the whole catalog.
To me, this
post 2009 Pixar. You would put this over post 2009 Pixar.
Yes.
Oh
I would actually post this over 2009 Pixar.
You would make some enemies with that statement.
I like all things Pixar. I like a lot of stuff about Pixar.
I do
but
not.
I actually do like this movie. I think it's good. I feel like it needs a little bit more credit and stuff like that because I personally liked it. Like, I don't see it as a bad movie.
I don't see it as a bad movie either. I see it a little bit differently than you, but go on and tell what other stuff you liked about the movie.
I guess another thing I like about it is just 22 themselves. Like, 22's a good character, in my opinion. I feel like they're a good character. I like their personality. I like how they're just trying to understand, like, their purpose in life from, like, a little bit of a destructive way.
Yeah.
But I like their energy. Like, they got a good
they're
energy.
A blank slate. They're a blank slate, and they're, they're a cynical blank slate, and that's what I can describe them as.
Yeah, like, before this movie came out, I didn't know what to think of it at first, because when I first saw the original trailer, I thought this was going to be a weird movie.
I don't think no one liked the original trailer, to be honest.
The original trailer was kind of meh.
It looks so
even not the first one, not the second one, but the first one.
No, the one that we're doing the
little dance.
The little dance thing, which, oh my god, I'm so happy they didn't do that. They did, like, the little dance thing, which I think now, like, they're just only putting footage to, like, footage to make for the trailer. I think that's what people are doing now, so that, like, they can mislead people. That's what a lot of trailers do nowadays. They're like, oh, it's just gonna be some, like,
teaser,
like, it's normally directed toward, I don't know why they do this, but it's normally, like, teaser trailers specifically want to, like, consider
mislead
the project
people.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
And then when it comes out, it's like, oh, this is what this is about. And it's like, I don't know why you kind of want to advertise this as a more, like,
comedy-based thing when it's not.
Thing when it really isn't. In fact, it doesn't really have that. It's not a comedy. I wouldn't.
It honestly isn't. Like,
it really isn't. There's not
the most comedy you get is just 22 talking about their previous mentors.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, that's it. That's the only comedy you really get out of this.
That's it. This isn't a movie. I'll say this about the movie. I don't think this is a movie that is made for kids.
I feel like this
can watch it, but
adult,
kids are not gonna.
This is an adult movie.
This is more of an adult,
like late teen, early adult movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is more for, like, the late teen onward.
And that's what I like about this movie, to be honest. Same. I like that Pixar is trying to, like,
expand their horizons and try different stuff.
I'm talking about recently, not the mid-tier era before, like, before 2009 or 2010. I don't know where like, it started to go a lot more kid-friendly. But I'm not, like, definitely with projects like, let's say, Monsters University, or I can even say, even, like, the good one, like, Up, and, like, Finding Nemo, like, all those ones that are, like, more catered toward, like, I'm talking about Pixar. I'm talking about, like, the Pixar. I'm not talking about Disney. I'm talking about, like, the more stuff that's more child-friendly to them. I don't think that, with the exception of the body swap, like, scenario that they pull in here, I don't think that this movie would cater too much toward children. Children can still watch it. They can still like it.
But they're probably not going to really appeal to them.
It's not going to appeal to it. This is more of a straightforward
teen to, like, adult kind of, mainly adult.
It's very dialogue driven. It's not very like cartoony or, like, something that the kids are gonna laugh at and stuff. It's very dialogue based, very straightforward talking. There's no really goofy voices or anything like that. So it's just that way, which I'm glad someone is doing. I'm glad that like Pixar is still its old company, even if I don't really care for the products they're putting out. Like, I know it's weird. I know it's weird, but I'm glad it's not fucking Disneyfied.
Yeah.
I'm so happy it's not Disneyfied, but at the same time, I do have some problems with it. But I'll get to the stuff that I like if you're done with the stuff that you... Are you done with the stuff?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, to me, this movie, in my opinion, it's straight to the point. It's good in my eyes. Like, I considered up there with Inside Out as some of my favorite movies. Like, I like a lot of the stuff that Pixar does, but this and Inside Out are probably, like, my personal favorites. Just because of, like, the concepts and the stuff that they do talk about.
I'm curious, what is your second favorite? If Inside Out is your favorite Pixar movie, what's your second favorite Pixar movie?
I would have to really think about that. But,
that's not, like...
Probably the Monsters, Inc. and Monsters University franchise.
Monsters, Inc.
I grew up with that, so I kind of lean more toward that.
So you're not like one of those. You're not like you weren't like a Toy Story person.
I liked Toy Story, but it wasn't my favorite movie.
You were not like. I'm assuming you were not a, let's say, 2000 by the time Pixar, like 2005 Pixar fan. 2005 backwards.
Not really.
Like,
I think they're good movies. Like, they're not bad movies. It's just, I personally prefer a lot of, like, Pixar's, like, newer stuff compared to, like, their older.
I'll tell you this right now.
It's just more my thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you this right now. Soul does not touch, personally for me, it does not touch, it's not the fact that I grew up with them. It's the fact that they're legit good movies.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't touch. It doesn't touch Monsters Inc. It doesn't touch The Incredibles.
Yeah.
It doesn't touch WALL-E. It does.
I do like. Oh wait, actually, my second favorite movie is actually WALL-E.
Your second favorite movie?
WALL-E would be my second favorite actually because I really like WALL-E, and then Monsters Inc. / Monsters University was my third. So, like, my top three...
It doesn't touch Ratatouille for me. Like, it doesn't touch the tier Pixar movies that Pixar fucking built that reputation on. But, I'll get to that later.
But, yeah, I'll say this before we talk about our dislikes and then review, give our rating. My top three Pixar movies is basically Soul and Inside Out for first... WALL-E for second, because I really do have a good connection with WALL-E.
So this is tied.
Yeah, and then for third is the Monsters Inc. / Monsters University franchise. I like that too. But WALL-E, I will admit, is a good movie as well. I like WALL-E.
I'm sorry.
That was my first... Okay, before Inside Out came out, WALL-E was my first favorite movie. But then Inside Out came out, and I'm like, it beats it by a little bit. But those are, like, the kind of movies I do like. I like a lot of, like, their newer stuff compared to, like, their older stuff. But that's just me personally. Not all of the newer stuff, but a good chunk of it.
It could have been the old shit. Okay. I'll get to stuff I like. First off, I really, really dig, like... I really dig how they do like New York. I know it seems weird, but the thing about it is a lot of animated films do not do big cities justice. I'll tell you that right now. If it's a mainstream animated movie,
they're not gonna. It's not
gonna be fucking unless like the last time I saw this was in fucking Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like Spider-Verse did the only other like really good like version of New York. Brooklyn.
Like. The worst example I can think of is honestly Mr. Peabody and Sherman. I know you haven't seen that movie.
I've actually seen Mr. Peabody and Sherman. I actually saw that.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, that's the worst fucking example of like a fucking New York City I've ever seen. I'm sorry, it really is. But it's not a fucking. It's not like that. It's very fucking populated. It's very fucking loud. It's like busy. And it's like, I like fucking atmospheric movies that can do that.
Yeah.
Good job. I also like the human interaction in the movie when they're in Earth.
Yeah. I also like how just like 22's like adjusting to everything when they first hear the sounds. And just the anxiety that they go through.
What's it called? Sensory overload?
Yeah.
That's what it's called. It's clearly the sensory overload that you get when you're, like, in a big city.
And, like, just the fact that a lot of the noises are at, like, one time.
Yeah.
Like, that's something I like that they decided to show representation, because it looked like they were experiencing some kind of anxiety at first.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that a lot in Pixar movies. Like, you don't really get to see, like, the raw energy that is anxiety and, like, panic attacks. Mm-hmm. So I like that they actually did that.
Yeah.
Even if it's for, like, a little bit. I actually like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Because you don't see enough of that stuff anymore. No one talks about, like, anxiety and shit in, like, kids' movies or, like, in anime movies in general. Like, the only other one, like, Spider-Verse did talk about it a little bit.
Spider-Verse, they
represented
scenes.
it.
They show scenes, but it's like, it's not the whole fucking movie.
I know,
so
but
they show scenes. Like that scene in Spider-Verse where Miles is like freaking out that everybody knows that he got stuck to like when, was it Gwen Stacy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gwen Stacy's hair. That's a really good anxiety inducing scene.
Yeah.
That got to me in the theater. I like it when Joe like goes into like when he falls through all of the dimensions. I'm assuming those are dimensions that he's going through, like the planes and stuff of existence. Like I like it when he's falling through there and like it shows like it's other, like not otherworldly, but just other.
It just shows like another perspective.
Like other dimensions. Like I like it. It's almost like otherworldly. Outer limit is what I consider it. An outer limit experience. I like it when he's falling through the outer limit world. Like I that's the only thing I can experience. Like I can compare it to because that's all I can think of. I like it when he's falling through there and like you see like the credits and stuff like that, and it's like it's great.
Yeah.
It's a great introduction to the movie, actually.
Honestly, yeah. Like, I like the animation that they do first. Like, it's really good animation. I feel like in this one, they go all out with, like, the way that they decide to animate certain scenes and, like, the great beyond the spirit world.
The jazz
is beautiful.
Is, like, fucking accurate as shit. Like, just the way that they capture Joe playing the piano is... I never
beautiful.
Thought that I would see something like that, and that's something Pixar never has done is capture the perspective of music.
Yeah,
the perspective of music and what it feels like to fucking play,
and that's something like, that like I enjoy.
Someone who has formerly been a trumpet and a piano player, that
makes you happy that they make it accurate.
That makes me happy. That makes me want. That honestly makes me want to go and play the piano again.
Yeah,
because I miss it. I miss the feeling, and it captures that feeling of just being in like just. It just captures that musical moment where like I was like, God damn, this is fucking. I know it sounds really weird to say this, but this could have been Pixar's Whiplash. It could have been Pixar's Whiplash,
but they didn't.
And I think we're gonna go into the criticisms. But before we do that, before we go into the big discussion about like why we probably disagree with whatever, is there anything that you want to say that you liked?
Nah, I think we already said enough about that. So let's talk about the dislikes about it. So I'll go first since you probably have more.
Well, not dislikes, but more like
criticisms. So I'll talk about mine because I only have a couple things I really want to talk about, but that's really it.
Okay. And then I'll ask you
one thing I will say, I think his name's Terry.
I
don't really like Terry's motives in this. I feel like they're just there. They're stupid. Like they're so stupid.
They're just there to slap on like conflict. It's like
because literally all he was doing,
I don't know.
All they were doing at this
celestial beings.
All this person was doing was just trying to like get revenge on Joe for cheating his way into the great beyond and just life, apparently. and just, I didn't like him. I didn't. I could not stand this character.
Okay.
And stuff. Like, this is the one character that I feel like got annoying after a while. But that's me personally. Like, that's the only thing that really bothered me about this movie was just Terry. Just fucking Terry. Like, this movie would have been so much better without Terry, in my opinion. But it's not the biggest complaint, honestly, in my opinion. Okay. But at the same time, they could have done without it.
They could have done it without Terry. They could have done it without trying to force, like, I guess that's just something to where somebody, like, oh, there has to be a conflict. It's like, the conflict of finding something is already good enough. You don't need this, like, little mini antagonist.
Yeah.
In your fucking movie. Like, can just animated films just stop doing that? This is why I can't get into so much animated films nowadays, because there's so much little. It's not the big cliche shit anymore. It's like the little shit that they keep adding. It's like, and yes, this movie does fall into this category. It's like the little shit that they keep adding. That's like, you don't need this. If you had this out of the movie, this would be a perfectly good movie.
Yeah.
But it's only falling into the okay category, and too many animated films are just falling into the okay category.
Yeah,
and it's like depressing.
And that's disappointing.
It's depressing to me.
Okay, so talk about your stuff, and then we'll give our rating.
You don't have anything else?
Not really. That's really the only complaint I really have for this. To be honest with you, like, that's really my only complaint. It's just that.
Okay, I guess I'll ask you, like, questions.
Is that, like, your criticism thing?
Yeah, it's my criticism. I don't know how long it's gonna go for, but
and then we'll give our rating and be done.
Yes.
So I guess what's your first thing you want to ask?
Okay. What do you think of... Okay. I heard this brought up. What do you think of the argument of, like, Joe not being, like, in his body for the majority of the movie?
Okay, like,
what do you think
here's
of
the
that?
thing, okay? I understand Disney is known for doing this. Example with Princess and the Frog. They did this with Tiana and stuff like that. But I don't feel like this was the exact same thing. I feel like in this one, he's still himself. Okay? Regardless if he's in his body or not, he's still who he is. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that. Like,
which is black.
Yes. Like, he's still who he is and stuff. I don't see it, personally, to me, I don't see it as that big of a deal. I can see where people, however, I can see where people are coming from with this, mm-hmm. that we don't see enough of that representation in animation, which is kind of sad. But,
they had really good designs.
Like, the characters all have really good designs in this, and, like, they are in the movie and stuff.
Whoever designed Joe's mother
did a great job.
Did a really good job. Whoever designed Dorothy Williams did a really good job.
That too.
You can tell they looked at, like,
so many, like,
they looked at
so many, like, jazz people from back in the day.
No. They looked at certain
models.
I can't think of the actors right now, but they looked at certain actors and they're like, how can we capture this on film? And I think they did it really fucking good.
Yeah.
I think
like,
they did it.
Do I wish they had the less of the soul stuff in this? Yes. However,
okay,
I feel like if we had to pick between the two, I feel like Princess and the Frog did a little bit more than Soul did, in my opinion.
Well, that was like 75% of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good, like, 80% of the movie where she was a frog.
While in this one, it's kind of like a 50-50 thing. Like, half the movie they're doing...
And plus also it was, like, in 1920s.
Yeah.
New Orleans. So, apparently we can't have black people without being discriminated against. Okay, that's a whole fucking thing.
That's a topic for another day.
That's a whole topic. Okay. My perspective.
All right, give your perspective and then rating.
I have a lot to say.
All right, what is it?
Screw the soul shit. I'm sorry. I know that's the fucking title. I know that's the point. I know
that's the purpose of the movie.
That's literally its purpose, is to go to the soul world so that Joe Gardner can experience his new life in a way. He could say like, oh, this is what I've been missing, and spoilers, I'm gonna give like 22 my Earth badge so that they could go experience life and be a good musician.
Yeah,
because that's what they like to do, and like, you know, just experience life and everything. And I don't think that's interesting. I don't think that that's the way you should have taken this movie. I would not have put anything about any soul shit. I know it's just a preference of mine, but the least interesting thing that you can do to me is vision a spiritual world so that you could form a connection with a character. I know it's been done, and I know that it's very popular to do it. I do not find it interesting, and I would not mind this so much if they did not make the human world literally like so good, so great. You could have done this story on Earth, and I don't think it would have changed a damn thing about it.
Yeah,
you could have done it easily on Earth, and like, you know, you have all this color, all of this imagination. You could literally keep Joe in his body, and that criticism of him like turning into the fucking blue blob wouldn't be criticism at all. It wouldn't be something against the movie. It would be like, if Joe stayed in his body, and let's say if 22 was just someone on Earth who was like, you know,
like the student.
Like, yeah, fuck! Oh my god! Joe had like a student, or he was like a mentor to somebody.
That's what they should have done.
That was they should have done. They should have like made it to where like he got the gig, but instead of dying, he like had like he
ended up mentoring.
He got mixed up with this student or this person who was like, you know, oh, like, you know what, like, you know, deteriorates him a little bit. And they could have went on this fucking journey all throughout New York City. Like, you know, just discovering, like, all the little things in life. And maybe Joe could have discovered it too. Like, you could have literally done this shit without the spiritual shit. Like, it's nothing that I have anything against the spiritual or the outer planes or dimensions or whatever. Nothing against that. But I feel like they did this fucking human scene so good in this. I felt like this wasn't an animated movie while watching it. I felt I was watching fucking real people. This could have been fucking Pixar's like real human experience movie, from the way that they were doing so well with how they emoted, like, you know, these characters while they were interacting with, like, you know, things like like things in the real world, like, you know, the sense of hearing, the sense of taste, smell. Like, a lot of it has to focus on the senses. And I felt like this is the closest thing that we're gonna fucking get. I'm sure Pixar has another thing that they're doing right now. But this is probably the closest thing that they're going to get without having to rely on, without having comedy getting in the way of it, or without having, like, you know, like something so silly happen, or trying to, like, you know, be cartoony. I think this is the closest thing we're fucking going to get to it. But I don't think they're going to ever touch it again. And that's why it's just such a fucking waste. It's a waste to me, because you're going to the human world, and it has so much more imagination than the what was that other place called? The Great Before? The Great Before, where you just, like, I'm sure the people at Pixar had, like, you know, so much imagination to that. And I agree. It does have an imagination of going into that world, but to me, it does not look interesting. It looks too, it's, I know that's the point, like, you know, birth is like, you know, or whatever they were doing, like, you know, the souls before that they go down to earth is supposed to be like this, like, you know, bland little, like, you know, utopia thing. But to me, it's just a bland utopia. There's no fucking, like, purpose to do that. And I think this movie could have been just
better without it.
This movie could have been one of the fucking great Pixar movies if they just stuck to their guns, just stuck it in New York, just stuck it with Joe Gardner, and had a mostly, like, you know, it does have a mostly black cast. I will give it that. It does have a mostly black cast besides Tina Fey. But I think it just should have stuck more of that. I think it just should have stuck in the city so we could experience, you know, black culture in a movie that, like, you know, Spider-Verse even didn't top. But I have to compare it to Spider-Verse
because it's the closest thing we got to it.
It's the closest thing to a big budget animated film that's gonna, like, touch that. And, like, it's a shame. It's a fucking shame. It's like we got a little snippet of it, but there's so much more you could explore. There's so much more, like, you know, like, there's so much more you could just, like, you know,
do with it than they did.
I feel like they really missed an opportunity here. Because if you look at let's say the human experience in, like, you know, if you look at something like the human experience from, let's say, Ratatouille, when you're in France most of the time. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, the main character's a rat, but
you still feel his emotions.
You still feel emotions, and you feel what it's like to be in that atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Like, I will say that, like, you know, it's probably very, you know, I mean, it doesn't feel French,
but it is.
Well, it doesn't feel like, you know, it was inspired by French, like,
I knocked my glasses over
and stuff like that. But it is very atmospheric, and it does what it needs to do without having to, like, you know, participate in the so-called, like, you know, tropes that Pixar tends to do today.
Yeah. Like,
it tends to want to surprise you and shit. And I would have been surprised if this movie just
stuck to its guts.
Stuck to, like, you know, wasn't about the soul. I would have stuck more to it if this movie was called Passion. Yeah. I would have stuck to it more if this movie just had the guts to be an adult movie. Yeah. I would have stuck to it. But it's Pixar, it's fucking Disney, and I can't expect that from them.
Yeah, and that's disappointing.
I will expect that from other studios.
Just
not
Disney.
This fucking studio. Yeah. And it's, like, disappointing. It was so fucking close, too. Yeah. It was so close. But I can't even say it was close, because half of the fucking movie takes place in the soul world. Yeah. Half of the fucking movie takes place in the soul world. I don't know what you have to say about that, but I understand it spoke to you. I'm happy that it spoke to you differently, and I'm happy that you got something out of it that was much better than I did. Yeah. But to me, this is just wasted opportunity, and I just find this an okay movie at best. And it's like those great scenes that I'm talking about, like the part where she's playing jazz, like, literally every single human scene I have no really much criticism for, because they feel so natural. And then when you immediately get to the soul world, it's like, oh, now I'm watching a fucking movie. Like, that's probably, like, you know,
the thing that bothered
that's
you
the thing that bothers me about any type of entertainment. It's like, don't make me feel like I'm watching something. Make me feel like I'm experiencing this. Yeah. It doesn't matter what I need to experience it from. I just need to experience that this is not fake. Yeah. Or acting. And every time we were in the soul world, I just felt like it was doing the bare fucking minimum. And it wasn't doing that in Human World. It was putting fucking effort into that. And I'm sorry, I just went on a fucking rant about it.
It's fine. So I guess, do you want me to give my rating first or you?
I don't know. I don't know. Do you see the same thing?
I can see where you're coming from, though. I can see where you're coming from. And I can agree on some points. They could have just done it in the Human World. But, you know, there's only so much they can do for, like, a movie.
I think they literally just did that because marketing.
Probably.
Marketing. It's like,
that's probably the only fucking reason.
We gotta sell these little cute, like, you know,
toys.
Little blue toys.
Yeah.
That's cynical. That's fucking cynical. If they just stuck it, like, you know, if they just stuck it in these, like, unisex, like, you know, blue blob bodies because they wanted just to make this movie more marketable, that's fucking cynical.
Yeah.
That's fucking cynical as shit. I can't stand that shit, man. I can't stand that shit. You had a fucking good premise and you fucking wasted it. You fucking wasted all these fucking blue things when you could have, like, done something that
different.
That was Pixar. You could have done a Pixar. But no, you had to fucking... I'm sorry. It makes me feel like I'm mad at this movie. I'm really not. I like some parts of it. I really do. I just can't go with it. I can't go along with it. I can't.
I know.
I can't go along with most of it.
It's okay. It's okay.
But the scenes that are really great are really good. I'm just torn. So here, go give your rating. Give your rating.
Okay, so for me, I pretty much give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's good. There's some stuff that they could have done a lot better.
You were so generous.
Like, they could have not made it just focused on the soul world. They could have just done it, like, more in the Human World, less in the soul world. Like, at least, like, 2 scenes in the soul world probably would have been better than, like, how much they did.
I wouldn't have put no scenes in the soul world.
But that's...
I wouldn't have even done the soul world in general. I would have still kept it, like... You don't need to change anything. Just don't add the soul world. Like, if there was a cut of just, like, of just the Human World, like, if there was, like, someone made a cut of just the Human World and no soul world,
then it would have been better.
It would have been better. It would have been better as a fucking, like, you know, 30-minute, like, Disney Plus short.
Yeah.
It would have been so much better.
Honestly, yeah. So, I give it an 8 out of 10. I still like it. I still think it's a good movie. But that's just me. I don't really have much else to say about it. What about you? What do you rate it?
Well, I've been talking so favorably about it. Okay, I like it enough. Do I think this is better than Wolfwalkers? No.
No. I will say that the Wolfwalkers is still better.
No.
But... You know what I mean?
Wolfwalkers is going to be a better film, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But that movie's so simplified that it, like, you know.
It works.
It works.
Well, this is like...
This is a dialogue-based movie that, honestly, is really simple. It's a very dialogue-based movie that is very, very simple. But it's fucking almost tainted by the fact that it's just, like... It's just uninteresting for me for half the time. It's like, I don't care about your literal... I don't care about, like, half of the movie.
Yeah.
But the other half I do care about. And it's like...
You're torn.
All I can think of is, like... All I can think of when I watch the movie, I'm just like... Wow. Those human scenes get better for me every time I watch it. And those soul scenes get so much worse. Because you can tell which, like, you can tell who was in charge of the scenes.
Yeah.
You can tell easily. I'm hoping that Pete Docter, even though I know Pete Docter did Inside Out as well. It's the same director.
Yeah.
So, I know that he did Inside Out. And I kind of just... I don't know if I should give Pete Docter the benefit of the doubt. Like, I really don't, because Inside Out is okay to me. As I'm just not into these types of movies, but it's okay. But
it could have done better.
Jesus, could have been so much better.
Anyway.
I'm really trying to, like, process, like, what am I gonna favor towards? Like, what am I gonna favor towards? Am I gonna favor towards soul scenes or human scenes?
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough of a video.
I did not give my rating yet.
Give your rating and then let's be done.
I know you're tired.
Well, not tired. It's just I kind of want to watch some stuff.
I know you do. You want to get rid of this podcast.
I want to just get this done.
I know.
Well,
I'm going to... You gave it an 8.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it an 8.
Well, what are you going to give it? Pick a number, any number. And there goes your speaker.
Yeah.
Your speaker even wants you to pick a number. I got it.
A 6.
You give it a 6?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's what you give it. That's what you give it. You couldn't get past the soul
wish I
scenes.
could have enjoyed it as much as you did. I
And
really
that's
do.
fine.
And this is my second time watching it.
That's fine.
I really...
We're not going to have the same opinions on
But
stuff.
Mari, it hurts to not like it. It hurts. It literally hurts me. You have no idea how much it hurts me, but it hurts. It hurts my soul. Literally, it hurts my soul.
Anyway, that's enough of a tangent for now. Because you're literally gonna talk about this for like hours.
I would, honestly. I would talk about how fucking Soul, a clickbait title, Soul is wasted potential.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for our podcast on Soul. So we're going to be uploading this sometime this week, and then we're going to be doing Hilda season 2. And that's probably going to be the end of the podcast for like this month. So next podcast we will talk about what we're going to do for February, because we're still kind of deciding on what we want to do.
We're going to do an animated show, a live action show, and an anime show.
Yeah, that's kind of our plan. And some other videos here and there.
And then we'll just improvise the rest of the year.
Well, we'll kind of decide, like, we're doing it month by month. We're deciding month by month.
Yeah, which is a lot better, honestly.
Than, like, just doing it.
I mean, the months are very just cut and paste dry. Right?
Yeah. So we're trying to get some kind of content out there for you guys. And we still got other stuff we're working on. It's just, work's been kicking our asses lately. So it's been taking us a while to kind of film it.
It's been kicking your ass.
Well, it's mainly my ass. Jay's probably more like, not as bothered by it. But we do have more content coming soon. I don't know how soon, though, because... Should we give a hint on what it is, or should we just not?
We'll just let them wait.
Okay. Well, if eventually we'll give you guys a hint on something we are working on, but we're going to have to wait till we get more stuff out for it, or at least to make a preview video. Mm-hmm. If you want to. If you guys want to see a preview video of what we're planning on doing, like a short video of like a teaser of something we're working on, mm-hmm. then I don't mind doing that. So if you guys want that, comment below. But that's pretty much the end of this podcast. I'm sorry if it was a bit of a dragged out one, but this is a movie I've been wanting us to review for like since it came out. And we just haven't had a chance to because we've been trying to get Equestria Girls done. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more content coming soon. And we hope you guys enjoy this. And be on the lookout for our next one for Hilda Season 2. You excited for that?
Yep.
I know I am. I haven't seen Hilda in like so long.
Me neither.
This is going to be exciting. Anyway, I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
And we are out.